Ukraine, that ranks 15 in global firepower index against Russia's rank at 2, hardly had military equipment when Russia-Ukraine war broke out. Ukraine's military fought back Russia's special military operation with the equipment it had in its inventory at that point of time. That included Soviet-era tanks, armored vehicles, artillery and aircraft, besides a scattering of Western-supplied weapons such as Javelin anti-tank missiles. A war that Russian Federation might have initially thought would not last beyond weeks is continuing even after 15 months. On 30th September 2022, Russia announced the annexation of Donetsk, Kherson, Luhansk and Zaporizhzhia oblasts against only occupying part of the claimed territory. The United Nations General Assembly responded by passing a resolution rejecting this annexation as illegal and upholding the Ukraine's right to territorial integrity. Before 2022, Russia occupied 42,000 square kilometers of Ukrainian territory that included Crimea and parts of Donetsk and Luhansk in Donbas region, and occupied an additional 119,000 square kilometers after its full-scale invasion by March 2022. A total of 161,000 square kilometers or almost 27% of Ukrainian territory. By 11th November, the Institute for the Study of War calculated that Ukrainian forces had liberated an area of 74,443 kilometers from Russian occupation, leaving Russia with control of about 18% of the Ukrainian territory. The situation from November 2022 has not changed much except Russian forces with Wagner Group financed by Yevgeny Prigozhin made some advancement and occupied few more territories, particularly in the southern region. Ukraine could fight the war with much larger Russia, as within weeks of Russian invasion, shipment of military support from Ukraine's allies began to arrive and help bend the trajectory of the Russian-Ukraine war that already seemed to be going badly for the Russian military over time. Russia is rattled and wary of the West providing weaponry to Ukraine. Russia for 18th May requested a meeting of United Nations Security Council on the issue of military aid to Ukraine. So it is important to know what kind of weaponry and Western military aid was successful in checking the advancement of Russian forces and effecting regaining Ukrainian territory. Before we come directly to the equipment, here I would like to show you a bar diagram of donors of military aid to Ukraine from January 2022 to January 23, published by BBC, which sourced it from Kiel Institute for World Economy. The diagram suggests that US, UK, European Union, followed by Poland, Germany, Canada, Netherlands, Italy, France and Norway. Post-January, however, this statistics may change, as German Chancellor Olaf Scholz promised almost $3 billion when Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited Berlin on 14th May. The very next day, French President Emmanuel Macron also announced military aid including light tanks and armored vehicles. As President Zelensky met Rishi Sunak, the British Prime Minister, the UK reportedly will send hundreds of air defense missiles and armed drones to Ukraine on top of the Storm Shadow cruise missiles announced last week. Russia's permanent representative in the United Nations rigged up the issue on West providing military aid to Ukraine.
EU members have lined up to read out their similar statements and tick that box. And this is yet another illustration of the fact that there is no genuine concern with the fate of people who live in Ukraine, and even less with those who live in the liberated territories of Donbas. Western delegations were not concerned about the situation of ordinary people there since 2014 either. Nor will we hear today, unfortunately, any expression of sorrow with the fact that on the 28th of April, Ukrainians once again conducted a horrendous shelling of Donetsk, and they were targeting a regular bus full of people. It burned out completely. 9 people died, including a child. Expertise showed that this shelling was conducted using high explosive missiles for MLRS manufactured in Slovakia. And the same shells are also being used to shell the Donetsk Cathedral during the Easter services. Our briefer today didn't say a word about that either. So where is your commitment to the protection of civilians then? Or are these the wrong kinds of civilians? Responsibility for these crimes belongs not only with the Kiev regime, but also with those who supply the regime with weapons. Furthermore, every day we think that the level of pumping Ukraine with weaponry has reached its limits. We receive new information about the new heavy and sophisticated weaponry from the West. MLRS, depleted uranium, long-range rocket systems, hundreds of tanks, etc. And we will revert to this issue in the course of the meeting that we requested on this topic on the 18th of May.
Vasily Nevensia also says that Russia has requested a UNSC meeting on West military aid to Ukraine on 18th May. So this issue is going to be all the more important. Now let's discuss some of these military weapons helping Ukraine succeed in war. The first is HIMARS, the High Mobility Artillery Rocket System. This artillery vehicle carry munition that can hit a target a few meters in diameter from distances of about 80 kilometers. US-made HIMARS changed the course of the war. HIMARS, the M142 High Mobility Artillery Rocket System, is a missile launcher mounted on a 5-ton truck which can fire 6 guided missiles in quick succession. The 50-mile range is roughly similar to that of Russian Smerch missiles, but HIMARS fire GPS-guided missiles which can be more accurately targeted. According to media reports, Ukraine started using HIMARS as somewhere between June and July of 2022. HIMARS with high survivability is shoot and scoot system, making it difficult for counter-offensive. It can hit fixed targets, command centers, and even moving forces. Wheeled artillery, the M119 Howitzer and M777 Howitzer. US Department of Defense on August 19, 2022 announced the delivery of 16 105mm Howitzer and 36 105mm artillery rounds. The M119 Howitzer is the American designation for the British L119 light gun, which is in service with the US Army. In 1987, an agreement was reached to produce the L119 under license by the US as the M119 to replace the M102 Howitzer. It entered service with the 7th Infantry Division, Fort Ord, California in December 1989. The M119 Howitzer, with a range of about 18 kilometers, designed to be moved and fired faster and larger weapons. Their relative lightweight 2000 kilogram means they can be towed by pickup trucks. Both types have been provided to Ukraine in the hundreds of numbers. Another gun provided to Ukraine was the M777, is a 115mm gun that can fire GPS guided shells and has a range of up to 40 kilometers depending on what type of ammunition is used. However, media reports suggest that about 1/3 of the 152 guns M777 became Russian target, as these cannot move by themselves. Armored vehicles. Since mid-2022, Western allies have donated hundreds of armored vehicles, including M113, Marders, Bulldogs, Bradley and Striker vehicles. Some are tracked and some are wheels. More advanced types such as Marder, Bulldog, Bradley and Striker also include useful sensors and aiming equipment such as thermal optics. They are designed to withstand strikes from small arms and some light anti-tank weapons and support infantry with weapons of their own, ranging from .50 caliber machine guns to 25mm autocannons and guided anti-tank missiles. If we talk about tanks, in January, Britain pledged Challenger 2 tanks, which is a current generation system used by British Army. The Challenger 2 uses a diesel engine, making it familiar with Ukrainian forces to maintain, is about 50% heavier than a T-72 tank and is much more heavy armored. It can reach a speed of up to 60 km per hour on roads. Challenger 2 uses NATO standard caliber for its main gun, that is 120 mm. Challenger 2 tank's barrel is rifled, unlike the smoothbore weapons used in other Western tanks. What does it mean? That means it uses unique ammunition which Britain also provides. The United States has also pledged dozens of advanced Abrams tanks which are powered by gas turbine engines, and other allies have promised to deliver modern German-made Leopard 2 tanks. Poland provided surplus Soviet-era tanks such as T-72. M1 Abrams tanks. While pledging Abrams tanks to Ukraine, President Joe Biden described them as the most capable tanks in the world. Ukrainian soldiers are being trained on Abrams tanks. If we talk about air defense, in December, the US announced it was sending the Patriot missile system to Ukraine, and Germany and the Netherlands have recently followed the suit. This highly sophisticated system has a range of up to 100 kilometers depending on the types of missile it uses, and requires specialized training for Ukrainian soldiers, likely carried out by a US Army base in Germany. The Patriot missile system is expensive to operate. What is the cost? One Patriot missile costs around $3 million. Since the start of the conflict, Ukraine has been using Soviet-era S-300 surface-to-air systems against Russian attacks. Ukraine had about 250 S-300s, and the stockpile was also reinforced by Slovakia. To protect Ukrainian civilian infrastructure, including power plants and residential buildings, its Western allies have donated a wide variety of systems. They range from short-range heat-seeking systems such as the Humvee-mounted Avenger to the high-end radar-guided Patriot, which can engage aircraft, cruise missiles and ballistic missiles also. Medium-range systems such as NAS-AMS and IRIS-T provide a means of defending against missiles as they get closer to their targets. As a last ring of defense, German Leopard anti-aircraft cannons, which are directed by radar and mounted on a tracked vehicle, can shoot down stragglers at relatively low cost. Ukraine reportedly told these guns are useful in defending against Iranian-made kamikaze attack drones, which are small and slow. In addition, the UK has provided several air defense systems, including Star Streaks, designed to bring down low-flying aircraft at short ranges. If we talk of anti-ship missiles, in 2022, Ukraine used its indigenously made Neptune anti-ship missiles to sink Russia's Black Sea flagship, the cruiser Moskva. Since then, Denmark has donated Harpoon anti-ship missiles and shore-based launchers. Western allies also provide thousands of anti-tank weapons like NLAW, that is designed to destroy tanks with a single shot. Drones are important features in Russia-Ukraine war, used for surveillance, targeting and heavy lift operations. Turkey has sold Bayraktar TV2 armed drones to Ukraine. Turkish manufacturer of the system has also donated drones to crowdfunding operations in support of Ukraine. If we talk of ammunition, then Ukraine has received millions of rounds of ammunition, including artillery shells. Some of these shells have advanced capabilities such as the Excalibur, which uses GPS guidance and steering fins to hit target as small as 3 meters from up to 40 km away. Ukraine has also received bonus and smart 155 rounds, which deploy submunitions that float down under parachutes or small wings, hunting for the infrared signatures of armored vehicles. When one is spotted, the submunition waits until it is aimed properly, then fires a shaped charge into the top of the target. Ukraine has also been provided with HARMS high-speed anti-radiation missiles which it has rigged to fire from its Soviet-era aircraft to attack Russian air defense radars. Ukraine, along with West, alleges that Russia has not been able to justify its invasion in sovereign Ukraine. West believes Russia is losing the prospects of winning war and soon it will be forced to come to the negotiating table. Hope you like this video. Consider sharing it. Thanks for watching National Defense. Jai Hind, Vande Mataram.